Hi, Andrew here. I'm just getting things set up. So hopefully the goal is to finish the GUI stuff today. I'm just going to grab all that controller code and break it out into its own files, because I was reading the documentation and I actually should change the names and stuff. So anyway, we had this GUI controller which has a bunch of widgets as lists, and then we have a menu controller, which is a specialization of GUI controller, and its job is to fill in those widget lists in its own way. Yeah, so before I was naming this like self.background frame, instead I'm just going to make a general frame and append it to that list of frames, and I'm going to do the same thing with every other widget. I've also just gone online and grabbed a color palette for the menu. I'm trying to go with a blue sort of theme. And what I've done is I've just sketched out my layout for the menu off camera, because it's important, I guess. Now for the label, I've just realized I should be renaming these. It shouldn't be center, it should be start position and letter size. And changing the documentation, why not? Okay, so the way I'm going to make these buttons reusable is I'm going to give them a command code, which is the code which they return when they get clicked on. And for that reason, I can then handle the buttons in a single loop. Just loop through all the buttons. If you get clicked on, return your specific command code. Okay, so now I've realized that a lot of this code can actually be in the GUI controller superclass, right? When we close a GUI controller of any kind, we want to destroy all the widgets or whatever. When we click on a GUI controller of any kind, we want it to search its buttons and return the return action. When we render a GUI controller of any kind, we want it to grab all of its objects and throw them to its renderer. So really all the menu controller is doing is setting up the widget lists, not really much else. Anyway, so I think my part's pretty much done. Oh, it's Andrei now. Oh, different person. Okay, here it's Andrei. I'm gonna get this working. We're gonna display this this menu. So what I'm basically doing here is I'm just trying to make it work That's the first step. Just make something show up on screen. I realized that the GUI controller has not created a renderer, and we should do that. And here I go to pass in width and size, but then I realize, hey, let's just make those constants in the config.py and not even worry about it. And just setting up Pygame to run OpenGL. There was a typo in one of my shaders. I had sampler 2D with a lowercase d. Anyway, so things are looking a little better now. A screen is flashing up momentarily, so we're just going to keep hammering on that, see if we can get that working. Oh, it came up. That's good. Okay. So now I'm going to start rendering the frame. So we'll pass the frame's background color to the shader's color location. Yep, we'll go ahead and bind our colored quad. And here I'm just setting up the model transform. So I just realized in order to make 3D transformations, I need to add a Z coordinate. So that's why I've appended those 0 tuples. Oh, yeah, it's there. Doesn't quite look right. So I've just realized this should be, 0 is left. Okay, so it's there, but it's covering the whole screen. And if we go into the creation code, we find that the width and height was double what it should be, so I've just corrected that. Now we can go ahead and the buttons have frames, so we can render those button backgrounds as well. Okay, they're there, but they're not responding to my mouse. So we'll just go and check the code. And it is calling it properly. Let's print the mouse position. Oh, okay. So see, the mouse position is in pixels. We want the mouse position to be in OpenGL coordinates between -1 and 1. I'm just going to make a function, a helper function in the app that takes the mouse position and converts it into OpenGL coordinate system. So we subtract half the screen width and divide by the screen width. Seems to almost be working. Ooh, we should probably divide by the screen width over 2. And while we're at it, let's just neaten that up a little bit. Okay. Well, the Y doesn't quite work. Let's just go, okay. There we go. A little bit of tweaking and we get it. It's now responding to our mouse. Okay, let's go back in and confirm that it is working properly. Yep, okay. So we can click on the buttons, they do what they're meant to do. Yep, just load in some text file, font file. This is from my other video on text that I did. So I'll just grab that code and put it in. Just enabling alpha blending so that the text looks proper. Okay, so we'll create a font and a text mesh. We're going to use the one text mesh for the whole, for all of the GUI components, because what we'll be doing is we'll sort of be rebuilding it each time. So rebuilding it with different text, different position and everything, and just drawing at different spots. I'm just trying to come up with, okay, how do we use the center and size to draw the text properly? Oh yeah, we need to send the model transform for the text. Ooh, that's not great. Just tweak that. Divide the sizes. Looks a little too small, I guess. Oh, it's a little better. You know, it's not an exact science. Just sort of tweak that until I'm happy with it. Then, there we go. Okay, that's looking okay. So yeah, that'll pretty much be it for now. I'm not going to worry about the control settings just yet, you know, the options and everything. We'll probably just, yeah, do that in a future video. But there we have the title. That's good. Excellent. I'm happy with that. Let's leave that for now. Okay, bye. Bye-bye.